News 5 with Jerry Springer, Norma Rashid, Pat Berry's weather, Steve Physioc with sports, and Clyde Gray's Northern Kentucky report. Now, Cincinnati's News 5 tonight.
Good evening. Murphy's Law says if something can go wrong, it will. And that's just the way things have been going recently in the city of Norwood. The city faces losses of millions of tax dollars, and as I learned at a city council meeting there tonight, making up for those losses won't be easy. The city faces the sporadic shutdowns of the GM plant, as well as its permanent closing next year. The U.S. Plane Card Company is now all but shut down, and the nearby Siemens plant, which employs about 400, is on the brink of a strike. Already, 25 city employees have been laid off, and the city's 3 firehouses have been combined into one. But even that's hardly enough. The city safety director told me tonight he's asking council to allow him to press for an early retirement plan for police and firefighters.
I've requested permission to discuss with people that are within 1 or 2 years of retirement, see if I can work out some type of an agreement by which they will leave the city early. Some of them are agreeable to help the city.
Will that save the city money?
In the long run. Short term, it probably costs money.
No matter what methods are used to try and cut the budget, nobody's suggesting that that's going to be enough. So the question remains, what about a tax hike? Maxwell said he doesn't like to talk about a tax levy, but must always consider going to the voters for help.
That's a future possibility, but first we've got to do everything in our power to take care of our own house first. Until we do that, I would not feel comfortable in approaching any voter to say, give me more money.
Norwood is also now trying to solve its insurance problem. The city is looking at an insurance policy that could cost around $90,000, but a decision on the policy won't be made until at least the end of the week. Clyde.
Jerry, a Hamilton County jail prisoner tonight is trying to explain his decision to make a phony tampering threat against the Meyer Dairy Company. He is 30-year-old Del Eugene Carter. He told us today he made the threats to get attention and to try to stay out of a Georgia prison where he is facing 2 life sentences.
My life is very much in danger if I return to that Georgia prison system. I'm as good as a dead man.
Carter says that's because his brother was a leader in recent civil rights marches in Forsyth County, Georgia. To avoid going back, he says he made the tampering claims in hopes of going to a federal prison instead. He now does face those federal charges. The 2 suspects in the Monica Lemon murder case are back in the Butler County Jail tonight. John Fryman and Beverly Cox were arraigned in Fairfield Municipal Court this afternoon. Fryman on a charge of aggravated murder and Cox for complicity to aggravated murder. No bond was set in the case. Now, Fryman and Cox will be in court on Friday for a preliminary hearing. Jerry?
Well, as many as 3 people may soon be facing charges in a court in Claremont County. Charges they were involved in a plan to steal cash and money orders from a convenience store. At first, police thought the 22-year-old Robert Beheimer had been kidnapped from his job at the store in Union Township. That after he had an unknown amount of cash turned up missing. But after getting a tip, police tracked Beheimer, who has a criminal record, to the Greater Cincinnati airport. There, he and 2 more Claremont County men were arrested.
Investigators looking into the discovery of a suspicious device outside an abortion clinic say it was a bomb. The bomb squad defused the device yesterday after it was found outside the Margaret Sanger Center in Avondale. Both pro- and anti-abortion forces have condemned the attempted bombing. Authorities tell us that although lab tests show it was a bomb, they don't yet know who planted it or why. Meanwhile, authorities in Aurora, Indiana tonight are still trying to figure out what caused a fire and explosion there this afternoon. It happened inside this paint warehouse at the Legge Equipment Company on US 50. Somehow, a painting machine inside that warehouse exploded. No one was hurt, but some construction equipment inside the warehouse was heavily damaged. Total losses could run as high as $300,000.
Dozens of people in our area are still counting their losses from an illegal pyramid scheme, one known as the airplane. Well, tonight, one of the people involved in running that scheme has been convicted, the first such conviction in the area. She's Patricia Haig of Mount Healthy. She's pleaded guilty to misdemeanor charges of pyramid sales. She's paid back $1,500 to a woman who invested in the scheme. Haig could also be sentenced to up to 6 months in jail.
And still ahead on News 5 tonight, you'll see how an old Cincinnati landmark has taken on a completely new look.
And can you remember what you were doing on August the 8th, 1985? Well, you'll see what President Reagan did and why it's causing him some problems when we return.
Hi,
Hi, Todd here for West Hills Ford, 5400 Glenway Avenue. And right now, West Hills Ford is offering great deals on brand new 87 Ford Rangers. For a limited time, you can get low 3.9% financing or up to $500 cash back direct from Ford. West Hills Ford will sell you a new 87 Ranger for as low as $87 down. That's right, $87 down. And we have a large selection to choose from. Visit West Hills Ford, 5400 Glenway Avenue, and tell them Todd sent you.
Aunt Flo's ready for a visit.
The guest room isn't ready for Aunt Flo. Let's call off Aunt Flo.
Let's call Public Storage.
For nearby low-cost storage space, come to Public Storage, America's largest self-storage company. We rent spaces by the month for anything from business records to bedroom sets. You store it, you lock it, you keep the key. Public Storage. Call toll-free for the location nearest you. Rent now and get half off your first month's rent.
Dear Walgreens, I'm a clinical dietitian. When our hospital ran short of an important dietary supplement, I remembered Walgreens. Because your pharmacies can communicate through their computer network, you located the supplies I needed in a few minutes.
Isn't it nice to have the Walgreens pharmacy network nearby?
Walgreens wants you to have a 5x7 enlargement free. Yes, with every order of 2 sets of prints, you get a certificate for a free 5x7 enlargement from Walgreens.
President Reagan tonight may be having trouble remembering just what his role was in approving U.S. arms sales to Iran. During a meeting at the White House, reporters asked Mr. Reagan about a newspaper story, one saying the president couldn't remember whether he'd approved the sales during a meeting in August of '85. Mr. Reagan's response?
Everybody that can remember what they were doing on August 8th of 1985, raise your hand. I think it's possible to forget.
The issue came up after Mr. Reagan reportedly gave conflicting statements about his role in the arms sales to the Tower Commission, the one investigating those sales. Well, now that the commission is scheduled to release its report on the Iran situation on Thursday, a report that may criticize the president and his staff. Now, one of those likely to be criticized, White House Chief of Staff Donald Regan. He reportedly will meet with the president after the Tower Commission report is released, possibly to resign.
Well, a report to the Covington Commission tonight held some good news. The city had nearly $2 million in surplus funds at the end of 1986. But there was also news tonight of a chemical spill into Bank Lick Creek that's being charged to the Phylon-Sylmar Plastics plant in Fort Wright. This morning's spill occurred one day after a new law went into effect, a law that allows Covington to unhook companies suspected of dumping chemicals from its sewer system. That could happen to Phylon-Sylmar if the spill is traced back to them. Well, city leaders in Lakeside Park, Kentucky tonight are coping with a defeat of sorts. A federal judge today approved an agreement in which Lakeside Park will allow a radio operator to build an antenna on his property. Once again, Lakeside Park's strict land use laws were at the center of the dispute. Over 2 decades, John Thurnis has invested $20,000 in his ham radio gear. He's been waiting since 1982 to put up a 70-foot antenna in his backyard that will allow him to use it. 5 years ago, he asked Lakeside Park for permission to do that. The city's answer? A flat no.
When I requested the antenna, there were virtually no options available to me. Had the city sat down with me at that time and come up with a reasonable compromise, I think we could have worked something out.
Thurnis filed a lawsuit, which the city fought until after a federal communications ruling that said local governments must allow the hams to set up a reasonable antenna system. That, in effect, gave ham operators nationwide a victory. It also forced Lakeside Park to change its ordinance concerning antennas and to agree to compensate Thurnis for a 5-year fight.
The city had authorized a payment to me of $13,800.
The only Lakeside Park official News 5 could reach today would not talk to us on camera, but he did tell us Thurnis's victory is no reason for property owners here to celebrate. Number one, he says Thurnis's court settlement will have to be picked up by the taxpayers. And number two, in his opinion, once Thurnis's tower is up and operating, it's going to wipe out the radio and television signals of his neighbors, something Thurnis says is highly unlikely. Lakeside Park has fought a high-profile land use battle before. Last year, it ordered the Kaiser family to tear down a treehouse it said was illegal. Thurnis' case won't change the treehouse decision, But Red Kaiser is celebrating a victory nevertheless and predicting these zoning fights will create some political fallout in Lakeside Park.
Yes, hopefully there'll be different people running. This city council has really been against people, or the people here in Lakeside Park.
Thurnis told me he'll start building his antenna in about 30 days. And by the way, Red Kaiser, while talking politics tonight, told me he and his wife are talking about one of them running for city council in Lakeside Park this fall.
Well, the nation's governors gave their support to a higher speed limit today. At a meeting in Washington, the governors passed a resolution calling on Congress to permit states to raise the limit from 55 to 65 miles an hour on stretches of rural highways. Congress has rejected previous attempts to raise the limit. Well, the Supreme Court voted in favor of gamblers' rights today. The High Court ruled that professional gamblers have a right to deduct their losses on their income tax. The court found that if their full-time business is gambling, they have a right to a business loss deduction.
Well, some area people said local developers were taking a big gamble in renovating the old Cincinnatian Hotel. But as News 5's Michael Collins found out on the night beat, hotel operators felt it was well worth the risk.
100 years ago, when Cincinnati was one of the largest cities in the country, its hotels were a major part of its everyday life. The year the Palace was built in 1882, John L. Sullivan boxed next door at the Atlantic Gardens for a $50 purse. The Palace was impressive back then. It had the city's first hydraulic elevator and incandescent lights. Well, 105 years and $24 million later, it's back.
Back in 1882, a room at the Palace cost $2 a night. There were some 300 rooms here then. Today, half those rooms are gone, and they cost between $90 and $110 apiece.
But chopping out 150 rooms for an open-air atrium wasn't purely for ambience. In the 1980s, according to the Cincinnatians management, the trend is to smaller hotels.
It's very hard to give the service that a guest deserves in a 800 or 900 or 1,000 rooms hotel.
By the late 40s, the name had been changed to the Cincinnatian, and by the early 50s, it had fallen into disrepair and was almost torn down. Today, the renovation is total and complete. About the only things left are the original staircase and this safe. The new owners, the Bernstein Group, project growth in Cincinnati and with competitive pricing, see a 70% occupancy rate at all times.
How long before you recoup your investment?
Well, start making money. Well, we hope to be on the black maybe 5 or 6 months from now.
Hotels are for out-of-towners, so why should we care about this $24 million renovation? Well, this old building has been a part of Cincinnati for well over 100 years. We were proud of it once before. Now we can be proud of it again. Michael Collins, News 5 on the Night Beat.
And it's nice also to spend a weekend there. You know?
We'll have to try that. My wife and I, your wife and
right.
you.
Good idea.
Not the two of us together.
I hope not. When we return on News 5 tonight, we'll have the latest on the Tri-State basketball tournament action.
I'm going to regret saying that.
Yeah.
You'll see if it's time to get out that new spring wardrobe as well. Pat will have the latest on our area weather. Please stay with us.
Every spring, people strive for a beautiful lawn the same old way, with products that treat every lawn the same and can give you the same old frustrating results. Because lawns are different, ChemLawn has over 800 programs. We select the one right for your lawn and change it as your lawn's needs change. That's why we can guarantee to make it beautiful. ChemLawn, making America beautiful one lawn at a time. Check your mail for ChemLawn's $100,000 Great American Lawn Game.
At Thriftway, we're going to make your day every day with Cincinnati's best buys on choice cuts of beef, plus freshly ground beef, succulent pork, and fresh poultry. This week's Thriftway specials include USDA Grade A whole fryers, 48 cents a pound, save 21 cents a pound. And USDA Choice boneless chuck roast, $1.29 a pound, save 50 cents a pound.
We're gonna make your day. We're gonna make your day the Thriftway way. We're gonna make your day. Thriftway.
You can fly, you can fly, you can fly, you can fly. Come in.
The Delta Connection, Cincinnati's most frequent flyer.
Banner Buick serves public notice. Save up to $3,000 plus receive 3.9% financing on all GMC conversion vans, Suburbans, and 4x4s during our manufacturer sellout. We have a wide selection of conversions with discounts of up to $3,000 plus 3.9% financing and payments as low as $175 per month. So take notice and save only at Banner Buick. We're open nightly till midnight and Sunday.
Banner Buick, for those who want the best.
The weather is brought to you by world-class Banner Buick.
It's getting to be a broken record, but what a nice broken record. Another lovely day.
Yeah, it really was nice. And for the last week of February, this is really amazing. But just like we've been having great weather. Yesterday, Washington, D.C. got up to 20 inches in the suburbs, parts of Philadelphia. Right now, what's going on? Lander, Wyoming, 26 inches of snow. That's the northern part of the storm.
I was going to say, I've been watching the maps
Exactly.
out west.
Southern part of the storm, unbelievable. Arizona, Flagstaff, 22 inches. Parts of Arizona have gotten 32 inches, 19 inches, 23 inches. There's a snow warning out tonight, a winter storm warning. They could get another foot of snow on top of it.
And of course, the question is, what's that going to do for us? Hopefully not much.
Nothing for tomorrow. Later on in the week and then over the weekend, some problems could develop from this. Rain first and then maybe a changeover over the weekend. We're not out of winter yet, Clyde, so don't put away your galoshes and snowshoes. Let's go see the opening, the entrance to the place where they want to build a Kroger right across from the entrance to the Beach Mountain Mall. There you go. Let's go get right into it and get to that record page. Our high today, 47. The record 72 in 1961. Our low is 25. The record -1 in 1967 and no rain. Let's check it out. Our current temperature 38 degrees and our humidity 59%. Our wind's out of the east at 9, but if it feels like colder than 38, it should. First night in a while we've had wind chill down below 30. It's 28 is our wind chill right now. I don't expect it to go too much below 30 degrees tonight. 38 now, down to 30, and that's because of the clouds we've got in our area. Also, we're getting a little bit of air from the east and actually the southeast around this high pressure system. Around a high, clockwise wind, so it's coming right off the Gulf. But what it's doing is it's bringing up some moist air, so it's bringing lots of clouds in our area. That's why we're going to be cloudy tomorrow. This high is not moving too much for tomorrow. More of the same thing. It'll bring in clouds, but it'll keep us warm. Up to 47 again tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow's all right, and Thursday should be okay, but Thursday night, this front's going to start to get up a little closer to us. As it does, could bring in some rain, because we'll be fairly warm through at least the beginning of the weekend. So there's a possibility of rain on Thursday night and also on Friday. But then by the weekend, we could get some of this storm, not a foot of snow, but it's possible we could have some measurable snowfall by the weekend. It's still pretty far away. Here's our forecast then. The way it reads out overnight, cloudy, not as cold as last night. 30 is not real warm, but it's not as cold as last night, a low of 30. Then for tomorrow morning, partly cloudy, 8 a.m. temperature at 34. And then for tomorrow, it looks like this, mostly cloudy, warm, and a high 47. Here's the extended forecast. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow. We may see a little quick peek of the sun, but then rain on late Thursday and on Friday, and then by the weekend it could be something terribly different, Clyde. But all of our temperatures throughout the end of the month look like we're going to wind up maybe 5.5 degrees warmer for this for February. So pretty good.
All right, Pat. Thanks a lot. That is good news.
Have a good night.
All right, you too, Pat. Jerry?
And more good news for high school basketball fans. What, we're in the playoffs now?
Yes, we are. And you know, Paul Fry of Elder,
right?
He always has a history of playing so well at the end of the season. They beat St. Xavier, they beat Purcell, and tonight they beat Hughes. And Hughes had really been playing so well lately, but Elder said, no, we've got that great defense that Paul Fry demands. And the Panthers, they hold off Hughes to only 50 points this evening. We've got the highlights of the basketball game. Jeff Blay brings it up the floor, goes to Scott Klingenbeck from the corner, and Elder's up by 6. Second half, Hughes runs off 12 straight points. Larry McLeod pulls the Big Red to within 3 at 39-36. But Jeff Blay, nice drive down the middle, Jeff. Elder wins 58-50. Let's roll those playoff scores. And here they are. It's Western Hills losing by a pair. Oak Hills, what an upset. They beat Mount Healthy tonight. In girls AAA, Anderson beats McNicholas. Seton over West High. AA, St. Ursula over Cape. East Clinton losing to Wyoming. In the girls single A, it was Landmark losing to Ripley. And Madera big on Marymount. Kentucky boys, this is the regular season. Connor by 9. Scott over Dixie Heights. Lloyd takes Covington Catholic. Simon Kenton by 5. It's Walton Verona by 10. It's Beechwood by a bundle. Highlands taking Holy Cross by 2. And Silver Grove of Brossart 51-44. CBA, the Slammers win the first showdown with the Topeka Sizzlers. Leroy Combs with the layup with 4 seconds left. Slammers win 107-106 to hold on to first place in the CBA West. Now the NBA, the superstar showdown in Chicago between Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordan. And this is the way it went. Dominique won the early duel with this incredible layup. And then Air Jordan is grounded by the Neek as he swats it away. But Michael is Michael, and you only hold him down so long. The slam, and Jordan outscores Dominique 34-22. The Bulls win 113-103. In baseball, tomorrow the Reds hold their first full squad workout down in Tampa. All the veterans expected to be there. In fact, many have already spent several days in Reds land, among them Tracy Jones. Originally, Jones was among the candidates for the first base job. Instead, manager Pete Rose told Tracy to just forget the whole idea. So Tracy brought his outfielder's glove to Tampa and will try to win the starting job in left field. However, Tracy will have to beat out Cal Daniels. Daniels hit .320 last year while showing some power and may have the edge. Are you up for the challenge, Tracy?
Yeah, I like competition. That's fun. Cal's a good ball player. We'll see what happens. I work really hard. It's going to be tough.
Just as tough, though, will be the high expectations put on Tracy Jones and the rest of the young Reds. The hard work this spring should produce more than modest improvements.
Second-year players have got to come in and really do the job. Just not contribute. I mean, do a job. Be excellent players. And I think we've got the talent to do it. There's 5 or 6 of us that can do the job.
Yes, indeed. And Tracy Jones is one of those guys that keeps on pushing. And everybody's saying, hey, where's he going to play? He'll make a place for himself.
Got the same spirit Pete Rose had as a young player.
All-out hustle.
Good. Nice report. Clyde?
We'll be right back with Jerry's commentary. Please stay with us.
You know, one call to Cincinnati Bell can start your business growing with AT&T phone systems and long-distance service, plus AT&T computers that expand to meet your needs, no matter how big your business becomes. But the products and services that can help your business grow won't be there when you need them unless you call. Cincinnati Bell, for computers, phone systems, and more. The one to call.
Read all about it. Extra. Subaru gives deals to dealers. Hurry, great deals right now.
Factory incentives mean your Subaru dealer has up to $1,200 to make great deals on great wheels. So right now is the time to make a great deal on select models at your Subaru dealer.
Hurry in and see your local participating Subaru dealer.
The shortest month has the biggest savings at Globe Gallery's fabulous February furniture sale. Save 25 to 50% store-wide. 25 to 50% on all gallery furniture by Thomasville, Broyhill, and Pennsylvania House. 25 to 50% on sofas, love seats, dinettes, carpeting, and more. And now all gallery furniture has Globe's exclusive 20-year warranty, plus the guaranteed lowest prices. Now at Globe Gallery's fabulous February furniture sale. Hurry.
Moore's Nautilus Beachmont is nearing completion. Join any Moore's Nautilus now for only $9.99 a month. But hurry, the $9.99 per month special ends Wednesday.
Earlier tonight, we told you of the expected departure of White House Chief of Staff Don Regan, a move that has been pushed recently by the First Lady, Nancy Reagan. Will his leaving matter? Well, that's the subject of Jerry's commentary tonight. Jerry?
Thanks, Clyde. If you got a choice, marry the president. Don't be his chief of staff. Because if things get tough, presidents rarely fire their wives. It's bad politics. Donald Regan is finding that out as he's about to lose his battle with Nancy. And so in a scenario that will be given as much dignity as this messy Iran-Contra affair will now allow, Donald Regan will bite the dust by the end of the week, thereby giving President Reagan his last shot at saving his presidency from scandal and lame duckness. The fact is, Nancy's probably right. Don Regan has made a mess of her husband's second term. He's certainly a political liability, and until he's gone, the president isn't going to get anyone to pay attention to the other things he wants to get done in his final 2 years in office. But there's a question that won't go away even after Regan's gone, as he's expected to be by the end of the week, and even after the Tower Commission releases its report on Thursday, which is expected to hit the president and the administration real hard. And it has nothing to do with scandal, or who knew what and when. It's the more serious question of the president's memory and whether his failing memory is a function of age. Look, this is not a matter of choosing up sides on our president. We can love him and love everything he's done. But he is 76, holding the world's most stressful job. And he wouldn't be the first 76-year-old to start forgetting things. And he is forgetting things. Indeed, after conflicting testimony as to whether or not he gave permission to sell arms to Iran in exchange for hostages, President Reagan now says he doesn't remember. Well, assuming he's telling the truth, that's no laughing matter. What other major items of foreign policy is he not remembering? And why isn't he writing it down so he won't forget? And what else is his staff keeping from him? By the way, who's running this country anyway? I mean, considering all the attention that's been paid to Iran and terrorism and the Middle East over the past several years, the idea that he can't remember if he okayed an arms deal to Iran is downright incredible. It raises the question we've all been afraid to ask in polite company, which is not whether the Iran-Contra affair is getting old, but whether our president is. That's a tough question, but it's an honest one.
I hear some of you guys are gonna buy a new pickup. Ford Jones! Ford, sir! Ah! You Oklahoma?
A Chevy?
Ford, Chevy. Don't they teach them anything back home? Around here, it's the new full-size Dodge Ram 100. Priced almost $1,000 less than their full-size.
Yes, sir?
Dodge Ram 100. America's lowest price full-size pickup. So around here,
it's Dodge Ram 100, sir!
At its low price, we know what counts.
You know me from Carpetland. When things are slow, we have this unbelievable deal. Get all the carpet you need for a living room, dining room, and hall, regardless of size, for $599, even including padding and labor. Choose from 18 styles and colors of plain, sculpture, or tweed. It sounds impossible. 40, 50, 60 yards or more, even if you live in a castle. Owner-occupied homes in Greater Cincinnati are carpeted by Carpetland.
Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, that's Skyline time. Cuddle up with your one and only. It's Skyline time.
Now through February 28th, get 2 conies and a medium Pepsi for just $1.96.
No other chili has a taste that's so divine. Together, at last, it's Skyline time.
Look into my eyes. Now repeat after me. Sounds great, doesn't it? The new Wink. I love it. Just wink, and the music's perfect. Not too mellow, not too hard, not to mention 10 in a row. All on the new Wink.
Win $10,000 from the new Wink. Make sure you send in your Papermint coupon or a postcard to win $94 instantly. We're gonna make you rich. Details on the new Wink to win $10,000.
Finally tonight, the Russians are coming to the Tri-State. That country's figure skating team arrives tomorrow night to take up residence at Miami University in Oxford. They will stay and practice there during the World Figure Skating Championships at Riverfront Coliseum in March. Weather may be to their liking, the way Pat's forecasting the weather here.
That's right. That's right.
Remind them of Siberia, perhaps. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for watching.
From all of us here in News 5, take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
Tomorrow on News 5 at 6, are your kids as safe as they can be when they ride the school bus? Jeff Hirsch files his special assignment report tomorrow on News 5 at 6.
Our pricing policy here at Still Pass Honda is to try to sell every Honda from $300 to $800 less than any other dealer for the same exact model. But this month, you can save even more. Lease this new Honda Prelude SI with automatic for just $1288 a month. Similar low payments on all models. And with our quick financing, you can take delivery of your new Honda in just hours. No matter where you live in Ohio, Indiana, or Kentucky, we'll make it worth a trip to Still Pass Honda, 8950 Coleraine, just south of Northgate Mall, Cincinnati.
Moore's Nautilus Beach Mount is nearing completion. Join any Moore's Nautilus now for only $9.99 a month. But hurry, the $9.99 per month special ends Wednesday.
Live in your morning routine tomorrow at 10 on Channel 5.
From Hollywood, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon, along with Tommy Newsom and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Charles Grodin, Ronnie Shakes, and Leon Redbone. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
That's right. I know. You're just glad America is finally over. Phew. Look at this. Yeah, come here, Tom. We don't see each other before the show. Now you know why. We look like Patty Laverne and Maxine standing here. What is this? Thank you for that applause. That's very nice. Applause is the kind of love I like. You can't catch anything. Well, you sound good. We got a good show tonight. You want to have some fun after the show? It's kind of a dreary night, right? Let's go tell the man in the moon in the McDonald's commercial to go moon himself. Do me a favor. Just lightly, just all stamp your feet. Thank you. Maybe they'll send them some heat. It's cold in here. Yeah, I'm freezing. I don't. Is it cold out there?
It's cold.
I'm standing here in the lights. I'm freezing my. I mean, it's. I would bring the brass monkey in if I were you. It is unusual weather out here. Cold and the rain. We can use the rain. You see, the smog was killing the plastic plants. I don't believe this. Doc, of course, is at the Grammys, right?
Yes, he is.
Well, I might as well tell you right now. I was going to save this. Doc called me about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and the winner of the Grammy for the best jazz instrumental recording by a big band is the Tonight Show Orchestra.
Hey.
You guys didn't know that? Sure, you didn't know? That's true. That's true. He called about an hour ago, and I said, now, the competition was heavy. You had Benny Goodman in there. You had Woody Herman, I think Lionel Hampton, and Mel Lewis in his orchestra. Yeah. And you guys came out on top. That's nice. That's great. Like a... Great. Yeah. Did you know, Tom, that the band had won?
I didn't even know we made the record.
Well, I know how those sessions are. They go late. Sometimes you forget. Anyway. Anyway, that's why Tommy is here tonight. Doc is over picking up the Grammy. He's going to bring it tonight. Tomorrow night, he's going to set it right on the piano there. And we'll get them made up for all you guys. You should all have an individual one. Does Doc just get one, or do you each get one? Tom?
I think one, but he lets us look at it.
Okay, I had another bad day.
Oh.
Yeah, my new... Oh, I'll tell you how bad it was. My brokerage firm. I talked about him last week. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Made another brilliant investment for me last week. Yeah. They put all my money in a chain of Ronald Reagan memory schools. The poor president. What's going on back in Washington? The Tower Commission report is coming out on the whole Iran deal, and more things are happening, but I don't know if you read this or saw it on television. According to the New York Times, the president said the other day he's he's not certain if he approved the first arms shipment to Iran on August the 8th, 1985. He said he just didn't remember. Now, to prove a point, this morning at a press conference, he asked the audience. He said, how many of you remember what happened August 8th, 1985? And when no one answered, the president says, well, I think it's possible to forget. Now, not only that, there's a feud going on. Did you read this? Between the White House Chief of Staff, Don Regan, and Nancy Reagan? Yeah. Apparently, he hung up twice on Nancy Reagan. Not a smart move. The last guy to do that to Nancy was Ferdinand Marcos. So the president has to make a tough decision. So he said that Nancy's going to depart at the end of this week and be replaced by Yvonne DiCarlo. But I understand Don Regan may leave at the end of the week. He's going to take a brief sabbatical at the Spiro Agnew home for screwing up an office which is located in, I think, Nolo Contendere, Maryland. He'll be staying in the Earl Butt Suite. It's getting so bad in Washington, they just opened a new thing back there called Shred-O-Matic. It's a new business where you can say some exciting political news. The Democrats got their first official candidate yesterday. Do you know who it is? Congressman Richard Gephardt. Hey! Said in St. Louis he was running for president. And Gephardt said he was also endorsed by Reagan on August 8, 1985. Anyway. Now, there's more to this whole thing. According to USA Today, Oliver North, Colonel Oliver North's secretary, you know what her name is? Great name, Fawn Hall. Nice-looking lady. Apparently has had a 15-month romance with the son of the Contra's leader. Right? This is getting harder to follow than Days of Our Lives. She's been dating, Oliver North's secretary has been dating the Contra leader's son. You know what bugs me? The Contras are doing better than I am with my tax money. And apparently Oliver North fixed up his secretary with the Contra leader's son. Not only that, he fixed up the Ayatollah with Vanna White, I hear. I understand that Poindexter and North and his secretary are now in Washington are known as Kuka, Fun, and Ollie. Who knows? Also on the political scene, New York Governor Mario Cuomo dropped out of the presidential race. Yeah. He dropped out after a recent poll showing that the voters had him confused with Danny DeVito. Anyway, tonight we have a very good actor, a very funny man. Charles Grodin is here tonight. Funny guy. Ronnie Shakes is here, and one of the most original singers, Leon Redbone, is here tonight. So stay where you are. We'll be Thank you. You guys didn't know, huh?